Welcome to JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations. And with me now, Shannon O'Connell. How you doing, Shannon?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Nice to have you on. I know you've been voicing a few opinions recently, but we'll get to that anyway. But for people who don't know you, let's go back to the start of your career. How did it all begin for you? How did your boxing start?
I was actually 20 when I started boxing, and I was starting to get, I guess, into all the wrong sort of things. My grandparents introduced me to boxing, and it was I grew up hard. Both of my parents aren't alive. My dad died in a speedway accident when I was 2, and my mum was a heroin addict. So I started when I was 19, 20. I started partying a lot, and not in a bad way, but obviously taking recreational drugs. And someone said she's just like her mother, and I just went, no, I'm not. And I started boxing, and that was it. Changed my life forever. So
wow, blimey, there's not many people that can come out with that story. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah, I could tell my story for hours, but yeah, that's the quick short part.
Yeah, wow, it's yeah, and people, you hear a lot of people, don't you, say that boxing changed their life, but boxing really did save yours, didn't it?
100%.
Yeah. Well, hats off to you for that, Shannon. That's incredible. And you are one of those sort of true people that it has come along at the right time. And as you say, you started sort of hitting your 20s. That's quite late in some respects, isn't it? For some boxers.
Yeah.
And, you've had a great career so far already.
Yeah, I turned pro. I think I was 29. I was ranked number 2 in the world in the amateurs in the 51 kilo division when they brought it in for the London Olympics. The only reason I turned pro is because in Australia, I live in Queensland, and I had 2 kids and a mortgage, and they told me that I needed to move states and train with the Australian team if I made the Olympics. And I was like, well, I can't. I've got kids. I've got a mortgage. It's not happening. So I turned pro, and so I did miss out on the London Olympics, but as soon as I got out of the ring at my first pro fight, I was like, damn, I can't believe it took me this long to turn pro.
Was it did you just feel like you just slotted straight in then? It was something you should have done?
Oh, I just felt, as an amateur, I felt like, everyone looks the same. There was just no, you're red, you're blue, you're wearing your headgear. There's just nothing else about it. You're no different to the next person that was getting in the ring. So when I turned pro, obviously it's more of a show, it's more entertaining, it's more personal, and I loved it.
Yeah. And some people just take to it, don't they? That's the thing, some people stick in amateurs their whole career because they've got caught up in how it works and how it is. But to turn pro, as I say, you've had what, 28 fights?
Yeah, 28 pro fights I did, yeah. So, and I guess also for me, it was the amateurs was hard. I don't know what kind of funding you guys get over there. And we do get really good funding here now. But when I was in the amateurs, we paid for every trip. I went to world championships. I traveled well, but everything was for self-funded, and it was hard. So I guess the girls that are coming through now, I sort of look at them, I think you guys have no idea. They go on training camps, they go all around the world, everything's paid for. Whereas the people of sort of, I guess when I was around, we did it tough. We had to do our own funding and pay our own trips and organize our own flights. Even there was camp trips that I went to world championships in Barbados, and I met the coach when I got there. It's crazy.
So you had to pay for your own flights as well?
Yeah, to Barbados from Australia. It's not close.
No.
Hours of travel.
But that's it though, isn't it? But that shows part of your character, the graft, that how much you wanted it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, and I think last time you were out, you boxed recently, didn't you? You boxed in March.
Yeah.
And won the WBA gold title.
Yeah.
So is that one that sort of pushes you further up in the ranking? Because I saw the rankings the other day, and you've gone up a fair whack now, haven't you?
Yeah, so I think I'm ranked number 4 on Box Rec, which I mean I know that doesn't really mean a lot, but to me it does. In the WBA, it got me obviously the number 1 ranking. We did try and get it for the plain WBA world title, but obviously Eddie and their teams that they had already locked it in. Me and Shanika, who I fought, like I mean, she was 13-0. We were both in the top 10, so that was more like, to me, that should have been the world title. Like the fight on the weekend, that should have been the or the gold or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, yeah. Did you watch the fight?
I didn't watch the whole fight. I did see like round for round sort of highlights of it. I actually tried to record it, but I must have just set the reminder and it didn't actually record. So,
Right.
but I have seen highlights of it.
What did you think?
Honestly, like it was a good tough fight. Like, you know, good on both girls for having a tough fight. But I do believe for someone with a bit more experience, it looked like 2 novices standing toe to toe going to war, having a brawl. There was not a lot of skill shown. I always sort of thought that, you know, that's Ebony's kind of fight anyway. Like, and you know, some fighters are like that. But I thought that Shannon Courtenay was a little bit more skilled, but she fell into Ebony's fight.
Yeah, yeah. It was a real brawl, wasn't it? The two of them, you know, there was, I think Shannon had a good cut to the side of the head round here somewhere, and I think Ebony's eye was awful.
Yeah,
When
and
it,
I've had similar to Ebony's, and you know, like I'm not. Don't get me wrong, I love a fight. I mean, I've always been the kind of fighter that makes an easy fight hard. Like I love to fight, but I think that you know, you coming from experience, that there wasn't a lot of skill shown at all.
so how do you think the Australian Shannon? How do you think you would have fared against both of those? Based on their performances in that one, would you have beaten both of them?
Absolutely, that's without a question, 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
And I believe there's quite a few girls out there that would have been watching that fight in the bantamweight division that would have said the same.
So how's it work for you next then? What's sort of the next move for you? Because obviously you're ranked number 1 now, having got the WBA gold belt. That's put you in a good position now in the ranking. Where how does that sort of work? Can you go for one of those next? Are you interested in going for one of those next?
Well, I obviously like 100% I am. I would like to believe that it makes me the mandatory. Like I mean, the mandatory has always been the number 1, but I do know that Rachel Bell pulled out, so I'm not sure if there was any sort of, you know, agreement that she would fight the winner. I'm not sure. I know that Shannon Courtenay wants to revenge her loss to her. I believe that Rachel wins that again anyway. So if I do get pushed out of that fight, then hopefully I can get a fight with Rachel. I'm not sure if like when she'll be ready, or you know, or possibly hopefully if I can beat Shannon Courtenay, then me and Rachel can fight. I'm happy to fight all 3 of those girls.
Yeah. Have you spoken to Eddie at all? Has there been any?
Not personally. We have reached out a little bit on Twitter and Instagram and things like that, but I haven't heard anything from him. My team, I think are sort of trying to do all the right things. Like, you know, I sort of just leave that up to them.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, isn't it? You always get the whispers going around, and you always get all sorts going on, but it's actually having that solid link, isn't it, to sort of start negotiations as such, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously as well, like, I mean, she just got out the ring and we're sort of hassling her already. I know when I fought, get out the ring and people are calling you out, you're like piss off. Like I literally just fought a break. So, you know, I do feel a little bit bad there, but at the end of the day, I want that belt. So I don't care who I have to fight for it.
No, and I think that's the case, isn't it? You've got to be the first one out the block to
Yeah.
to get your name in there, because if you don't, someone else will. And it's not necessarily, it's looking ahead, isn't it? It's not necessarily saying, yeah, I'll fight you in the next couple of weeks. It's a case of I want to be the
And
next one whenever it is.
expect that. I mean, she's got to know that people didn't agree with the fact that those 2 girls were even fighting for the belt. So they've got to expect the pressure straight away. Like as soon as she got out the ring, everyone would have had the opinion of they could beat her.
Yeah.
And I'm world champion now, so people are going to want to bring her down, and I'm definitely one of them.
Yeah. I love how you're smiling while you're saying that. Would you have any interest in fighting Ebony?
Yeah, I don't really see the point now. Like, what for? Like, if she want, I mean, if it's an all Australian fight, I mean, I've got the Commonwealth title. I'm more than happy to defend that. I mean, if she wants, I don't really even know about this gold title. Like, I personally prefer the Commonwealth title over the gold title. But I mean, I'm more than happy to fight Ebony. That's fine. But I don't believe that she'll fight me.
Yeah. No, I only said it based on. I only said it based on the fact that now the UK fans are going to see Ebony is this kind of the Australian that's come over, and she's now the Australian one that everyone's looking at.
Yeah, and you know what? The sad thing about that is nobody in Australia acknowledges her. like if you talk women's boxing in Australia, other than what she's just done, her name's not mentioned.
So you would be the name before hers on any books?
Absolutely. Me, even the girl that I just watched, Shanika Johnson, she's up there as well. Like there's, I mean, Australia is not huge, but it's definitely not Ebony Bridges.
No, it's interesting just because it's interesting to hear it from an Australian's point of view, because obviously we only hear over here what we hear. So to hear it from the country that she's from and from your mouth, as it were, it's, you know, gives a different perspective on things. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's 6-1 like that. Yeah, no, like that. I mean, I know girls that have had 1 or 2 fights that would beat her.
No, as I say, it's going to be an interesting one moving forward, especially as you say, you know, you've got Rachel Ball coming back into the mix. Shannon Courtenay's obviously, she's going to be challenged quickly, whether it's yourself or whether it does land for Rachel Ball because of the circumstances. But, you know, it sounds like you're definitely going to be put into the mix very soon.
Yeah, I really hope so. I mean, you know, I do understand if it is Rachel, but I like, if she's not available yet, I'm available now and I'm willing to start trading tomorrow. So, you know, even if I could get the fight and then they could put it in the contract that I have to, if I win, I have to fight Rachel. That's fine. I don't care. I'll fight them all. The more fights, the better.
Yeah. Well, and with that attitude, that's the only way you're going to get them, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't see the point in training. Like, it's not fun. Like, it's hard. I want to fight. Like, I don't enjoy just going to training for no reason. I want to fight, and I want to fight the best.
No, and well, that's why you go into the sport, isn't it? You get your eyes on the prize, and you settle for nothing less.
100%. And I'd also love to come to the UK because my dad was born there and he died when I was 2. So my part of, like, a majority of my career has been to sort of build his name and my legacy started off being his legacy. So coming to the UK would be pretty cool because that's where he was born. So
yeah. Whereabouts was he born?
I have to check. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. It's in the UK.
Yes. He's English.
Yeah.
He came over on a.
That's all that matters.
Like, my whole name is Irish, but he's English.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, blimey. Yeah. So there's a mix of everything.
Yeah. I'm like, everyone keeps saying, like, how are you Irish? I have no idea. That O'Connell, no idea. Even I think Shannon was just a name that my mum liked, and it just so happens to be Irish as well. So, but my dad was born in England, so.
Yeah, there's a mix in there somewhere, in there. So.
Someone crossed a border.
Yeah. Before I let you go, obviously got a massive fight coming up in the next few weeks. Katie Taylor and Natasha Jonas, which is obviously a big fight over here in the UK. How do you see that one going? Or is...
I literally just did another interview 5 minutes ago and was asked the same question, so I'm going to give you the same answer. I do not care who wins. That's just going to be a great fight. Like, that's literally one of those fights where it's such a good fight that you don't care about the winner. It's just going to be a great fight. Like, I mean, Katie Taylor, to me, she's awesome. Natasha Jonas is awesome as well. It's just going to be a great fight. Like, yeah, I don't know who wins, but I'm excited to watch that fight.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those fights, isn't it? It's going to throw women on the biggest platform,
Absolutely.
and showcase what women's boxing is.
What we're actually capable of, rather than two girls standing toe to toe and just going hammer and tong.
No, definitely. Well, Shannon, it's been lovely having you on, and I really appreciate your time. I know, as you say, it's about what, 20 to 10, is it over there now?
Yeah.
So I appreciate your time late in the evening now, and yeah, it's been lovely having you on, and hopefully you get to come over here soon and well, see where your dad was, and yeah, it'd just be lovely to see you.
Absolutely, I hope so too. So fingers crossed. Hey,
Yeah,
Eddie.
exactly. Yeah, keep grinding, and I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Awesome, thank you.
You take care. Thanks for coming on.
See ya.
Thanks. Bye. Shannon O'Connell. Well, if you don't know it, you do now. She's just recently won the WBA gold belt in March, which has put her in a good ranking position to go for the WBA bantamweight title, which is what Shannon Courtenay's just won. So definitely puts her in a mix. Interesting thoughts on other people there. Yeah, just watch his space, really. I think good times ahead for her, and wish her all the best for the future. So you've been watching JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, check out the rest of the content, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you.